So today we'll be talking about exam 7355. The point for today is develop 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 app and business logic, code that interface with other line of business apps and line of business server services, ADB. It's a long one, so I will be taking it at 3 parts. Part 1 today we'll be talking about develop code for app specific processor computation, create an asynchronous method or progress, managing the return value, debugging and error handling, develop storyboards and custom animation for an object, represent 3D models as a code objects, manage 2D projection of 3D objects, use task, thread pools and background transfers. So generally we'll be talking about asynchronous programming. There is an article in documentation in the guide for Windows 10 apps. Threading and async programming. The async programming enables your app to accomplish work asynchronously in parallel threads, something called thread pool. Accomplish extended work without blocking the UI thread pools. Submit work items, control their priority and cancels. This all is in the thread pool. Schedule work item using timers and predict the timers. Set aside resource for critical works. Run work items and respond to named event and semaphores. This that mean it has access to the thread pools, has optimized threads across multiple CPU cores, and it can balance thread resource between apps, so you can focus on your work programming. In this another article we'll be talking about asynchronous programming. This topic describe asynchronous programming in Universal Windows app, help your app stay responsive. Many feature like media capture API, storage for an API are exposed asynchronously. The name of this method usually start with async or end with async. Your code make a non-blocking calls. A typical statement of code written in C sharp executes synchronously, meaning that when a line execute, it finish before next line executed. There is basically this one is the word, the received word for C sharp is async and await operator. This keyword async, await is an operator. JavaScript also, if you are doing it in JavaScript, you can do it in another language, is then. So here's some common task required when you to be called asynchronously when using Windows Universal Windows platform. Displaying a message dialog, working with file system, displaying a file picker, sending and receiving data to and from the internet, using socket streams connectivity, working with appointments, contacts, calendars, working with file types such as opening portal, document, PDF, and file, decoding image, interacting with a device or a service. So basically a lot of things is asynchronous, because you don't want that at any time to the user on mobile device or in any device to be waiting with something happening and he cannot do anything or interacting with the computer. So now we'll be taking some examples how to call asynchronous APIs in C#. Most of the asynchronous API don't have asynchronously counterparts, which mean you have to learn it. So they don't. A lot of the APIs is only asynchronous. There is so the example here is that if you have an app which show the feed from a blog, and when you click on one of these titles in the feed, it will try to fetch the blog content from the internet and display to the user. The time that needed to download that content from internet, if the app is waiting or halting or stopping to respond to the user until the download finish, the user experience will suck. So in this example, it's usually asynchronous. The first step is you call it here. The first step here, if you see any function, if we will be using await, you will have to put async in the method declaration. So here, when you do that, when you await, the compiler will go start doing this and will exit this function, the handler, and after this variable is feed is available, so the method return from the internet getting the data, the execution will come back again to the handler. So the point is that it will not stop here, it will exit, but it will be managing it to come back when it's available again. So await async. So after that it will complete normally. So await operator will call the asynchronous method. The await operator as telling the compiler which doing something you don't have to do, which case the compiler to do some extra work. I think you must include this keyword, which is async, in the method declaration. So when you call a client to retrieve feed async, the method initialize the retrieval and immediately return. When you use await with async, the app temporarily exit the event handler. Then it can process other events. Okay, when the retrieve completed, the async feed is available, the app essentially returns to the event handler where it left off. Usually the return type for any asynchronous API is of one of these types. You see, it will not return the object, like it will not return a string or integer directly. It will return something called asynchronous operation with progress, and you pass the type, the dynamic type you wanted, it will be there. So when you call something called get result, like this one, retrieve, it will give you back the type that you pass it in the dynamic type. Some types like async operation is async action without any type is void, and asynchronous method that defined in the .NET for Universal Windows Platform apps return the task or task results. So task is similar to async actions, and async action. It's like task with type is like task with type will return. So in each case async return, and this one will return this one. So basically it's the same like this and this, but in the Windows it used a terminology task and task T results. Some other stuff about handling errors and other things. So the point that we covered now in this session is create a synchronous method and progress, managing reshare, the debugging and handling. We did not cover it, but it basically cover it in the next time. I'll try another video. After that, maybe in the next time we'll try to finish this subject. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. How's that long? And we have here the longest one, 7 points or 8 points, main points. We try to 7 points. Try to finish each one. Need a session, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So we'll try to finish it. And maybe I'll try to go for this, the title, the push notification on lifestyles. Yeah. Okay, see you next time.